Hello everyone, I am Kent Colback, and today my partner Kelsey and I will be having a debate on whether or not to impose a new geological period of time called the Anthropocene period. This debate has gone on for many years about whether or not to impose this new epoch based on humans' impact on the Earth. I'd just like to start off by saying, although humans have had a tremendous impact on the Earth, there's no doubt about that, I do not believe that this epoch is necessary, at least not yet. Only because that it does not follow the rules for a period of time to be set. The rules for determining a new geological period of time, or any period of time for that matter, are set by the International Commission on Stratigraphy. These rules are traditionally given by the changes in fossil record, whether there's appearance of a commonly preserved organism as well as the disappearance of another. The guidelines for this new period of time are also based off of layers of sediment, which have to show signs of prominent natural change to the environment continuous around the world, and not yet has this layer been discovered and or noted of to introduce the Anthropocene epoch. The International Commission on Stratigraphy, on the other hand, can change these rules, but they have not yet done so, nor do I believe that they should, just to make a point on humans' impact on environmental change. Although all other geological periods of time have been set by significant natural changes to the environment, as when the glaciers were melting and sea levels rose nearly 120 meters. I'm not saying that humans have not had an impact on the earth or caused an impact to the environment, because we very much have, but we have been for centuries, and one of the major issues in the debate is when to set the date for the Anthropocene epoch to start. The changes that are occurring on the earth are just not natural enough changes to consider the Anthropocene epoch to be based on humans' impact.
Humans have drastically changed the planet. Therefore, there should be a new epoch called the Anthropocene, from the word anthropo, which means man, and scene, which means new, to reflect this change. With the end of the Pleistocene, the Holocene epoch began 11,700 years ago, when the Earth exited the last glaciation and began to form up. Now that humans have taken over the planet, we have caused many extinctions, have made drastic changes to the ecosystem, have polluted the air and the oceans, and have caused the atmosphere to change. In 2000, Paul Crutzen, an atmospheric chemist, had declared that the Holocene is over and that the Anthropocene should take its place. Crutzen and his partner Will Steffen have declared that the Anthropocene should either begin in 1850 with the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, or at the time of the first nuclear explosion that indicates the rise of nuclear power, both of which make lasting impacts on the Earth. William Rudiman, a paleoclimatologist, disagrees and says that humans have made lasting impact on the Earth for thousands of years, and proposed an early Anthropocene hypothesis that starts the Anthropocene at about 2,000 or 5,000 years ago. The third idea is to combine the two concepts and have an early Anthropocene phase that begins 2,000 or 5,000 years ago, and have a second phase that is either the Industrial Revolution or the rise of nuclear energy. Either way, there is clear evidence that humans have changed the Earth, and humans need an awakening to just how much they have impacted it.
Like I said before, there is no doubt that humans have been making an impact on the Earth, but the real concern is when the Anthropocene epoch is to begin. With little rock record for the Anthropocene epoch, or it being consistent around the world, there are some that are too quick to just pick a time because they want to get everyone on board to make changes so that we do not continue to do damage to our environment as well as life on Earth. I have no problem with this mindset. I think that it's great because this is something that not enough people know about, and the more people on board, the better to save the planet for our future generations. But there is no particular time that can just be chosen for the Anthropocene epoch to be established due to the rules that are in place for setting a new period of time. Some say that the Anthropocene epoch should be set in the 1800s when the Industrial Revolution began. Some say 1945 when the first nuclear bomb exploded, and some also say that it should be set in the 1950s during the atomic era. With all these dates being all over the board, as well as the fact that humans have been making an impact on the Earth for the last 50,000 years, when mankind first killed off some of the largest animals that humans have ever seen, such as woolly mammoths, woolly rhinos, and giant sloths. Then we also began to farm anywhere from 8,000 to 9,000 years ago, but it is even said that some of the largest impacts to the Earth have not yet happened and probably won't happen for the next 50 to 100 years. I don't think that just any time can be placed on the Anthropocene epoch with no real hard evidence, especially when there are specific rules in place that set the criteria for a time period to be established, which the Anthropocene epoch has not yet met. Also, fossilization and the amount of time for sediment to build up to create noticeable layers can take hundreds of thousands, even millions of years. I just don't see it being possible for us to set a time in the past 1,000 years or even into the future for the next few hundred or even 1,000 years, because to turn to the Anthropocene epoch, natural as well as permanent effects would have to be taking place.
Humans have impacted the earth in many different ways through agriculture, the Industrial Revolution, and the rise of nuclear power and weaponry. For thousands of years, humans have developed many tools and methods for obtaining food, which has led to the rise of agriculture. This development has allowed for populations to grow because food has become more abundant and easier to obtain. However, with the development of agriculture, deforestation and population growth have begun to affect the earth. Populations began to rise exponentially with the rise of agriculture, and because farmers did not have the technology that has been developed today, land clearing was time-consuming and areas used were vast. Because it took much more land to produce the same amount of food, it takes smaller amounts of land to produce today. It is estimated that 38% of the land that is used today was used for agriculture 1,000 years ago, when there was only 6% of the population that there is today. As the population grows, more land is used in order to provide food for this growing population. Carbon dioxide and methane emissions have also begun to rise within the last few thousand years. Ice drilling has revealed that carbon dioxide and methane levels were higher than the trends should have been, indicating that the development of agriculture has also led to higher greenhouse gas levels. Because of this, temperatures have begun to rise for thousands of years. With the dawn of the Industrial Revolution in 1850, society has moved into an age where fossil fuels allowed machines to begin making strides towards producing more product in a shorter amount of time. But the effects that it has on the environment are astronomical. In the span of less than 100 years, a sharp increase in the population led to numbers increasing by 100% by the 1930s. The use of fossil fuels have led to a sharp increase in air and water pollution, which have caused carbon dioxide levels to rise even more and global warming to increase the climate by 1.4 degrees. This has led to many species going extinct, which may indicate the rise of the sixth mass extinction. Because of the warm weather increase, many scientists believe that it has postponed the next glaciation, which should have started a few hundred years ago, according to the glaciation cycles. This global warming has also caused the world's oceans to rise in levels, leading to the submersion of islands and some areas along the coast of continents, changing the Earth even more. On July 16, 1945, the first nuclear bomb exploded in Mexico, which has made drastic impacts on the Earth. Radionuclides have left traces in the Earth's strata across the globe. This has given strategists concrete evidence that humans have made permanent changes to the Earth. This huge energy source has caused global radiation rise and greatly affected the health of plants, animals, and human life. High levels of radiation can cause land and marine animals to mutate, die, and even for a whole species to become extinct, as well as cause humans to become extremely sick.
I just want to conclude that with both sides giving some really good evidence as far as why we think that the this epic should be set or not set. There's no doubt that humans have made an impact on our planet by plowing prairies for farmland, building huge cities, digging deep into the ground to get to fossil fuels, mass hunting many large and marine animals, as well as developing machines that give off fumes to the environment that are destroying some of the ozone layer. Although these changes are not natural occurrences, which the rules state for setting a new geological period of time, they must be occurrences that are natural, and to be natural, it has to be not man made, as well as fossil records and rock strata needing to show evidence that the Anthropocene epoch is being put in place. Unless these rules are changed, I don't think that this happening for at least the next few hundred years or so.
Because of the drastic changes the world has been through since humans have walked the earth, there should be a new epoch called the Anthropocene. With the rise of agriculture, deforestation and populations have begun to rise exponentially. With the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, population has more than doubled, and carbon and methane levels have increased and caused a lasting impact on the world's oceans and air, as well as an increase in climate, which have all possibly started the sixth mass extinction. An explosion of a nuclear bomb has given risk to human as well as plant and animal life, and has left a permanent mark on the Earth's strata. Despite the time chosen to mark the beginning of the Anthropocene, there is more than enough evidence to prove that humans have changed the Earth.